Man, this is Deion Dawkins, man, and you're listening to The Scoop on OurScoop.com. You already know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Scoop, the weekly podcast of OurScoop.com, the authority on Temple athletics. Almost a full house today. I am your host, John DiCarlo, the editor of OurScoop, along with assistant editor Kyle Gauss, Jason Yevis, and Ryan Mack. Got more preseason camp updates for you today, a quarterback position battle that keeps pushing along. We'll play interviews from today's practice, from earlier today, with two of the best players on the team, the guys that really look like two of the better players this month, JoJo Bermudez and Colin Chase, two wide receivers who have joined the team via the transfer portal, and we'll play those interviews for you. Got a couple of mailbag questions to get to, and of course, we'll have some fun with on or around this date. The Scoop, as always, is brought to you by Greenspan and Greenspan Injury Lawyers. If you've been injured while on the road to the highway and the crash was someone else's fault, the insurance company will not be on your side. You need us, Temple Law grads, who will fight hard to get the compensation that you deserve. We only get paid if we win. So in Pennsylvania or New York, call us today at 215-261-7359. That's 215-261-7359. And you can find them on the web at greenspans-law.com. That's greenspans-law.com. As we have been reminding you all, today is a great time to subscribe to OurScoop.com. With fall camp underway, now is the perfect time to join OurScoop and get access to info on recruiting, position battles, and much more. You can join OurScoop now for $1 for your first week and enjoy a complimentary year of The Athletic included with your membership. So think of just everything that's coming up, the remaining portion of preseason camp, all the great coverage that you'll get from The Athletic and more. So it's a great deal that you'll want to take advantage of. Guys, how are we doing?
Pissed off.
What, still the Twitter thing?
No, that's this whole other thing. New Heights stole my idea of having Taylor Swift on a podcast.
It's your idea.
Nobody had thought of it before. All of a sudden, it's going to be the most listened to podcast episode of all time. Could have been us.
There is a good chance that our friend Andrew Goldstein will listen to this. He is with Wondery, Amazon's podcast division.
He's perpetrator number one.
Yes.
He stole the idea.
He works on that very podcast. So you might actually be getting this to not deaf ears, but ears that are listening. So
the Venn diagram of people that work on New Heights and listen to the Scoop, one.
Yeah. But it's powerful. It's a powerful connection. All right. So you are unique in that you thought of the idea of having Taylor Swift on a podcast.
Correct. I came to it independently. Other people might have had that idea on their own, but I also did. And I have a lot larger platform than people that thought about it at home. So I'm a little pissed off.
Are Ryan and Jason aware of your love of Taylor Swift? Again, I get it. I think she's
arguably the most famous person in the world. So
I know
think,
that
like,
it's not unique. But I know in the past you've talked about Music Video Monday, but why don't you?
That was 15 years ago. 14 years ago.
13? No, it was
14 years ago.
12 years ago.
2021. No, 2011.
Oh, you're right. Yes. Yeah. I'm thinking of when Chell moved in with me, not you.
All I'm saying is I'm an OG Taylor Swift guy. There's a winter break where I didn't have a job during winter break. So I was creating a website for somebody. So I made like $1,000 selling a website to somebody. And then during that time, I also pirated a lot of Taylor Swift music because I was like, let me just go through her discography and listen to a lot of Taylor Swift. So, and since then we're TS12. It's coming.
I wonder how many dedicated Scoop fans there are that are just so fed up of like hearing John have to like recite these same stories that he's been going on for probably 10 years now.
Fair point.
Like someone's been like,
I'm one.
Yeah.
Someone's been like very firmly listening to this. They're like, we're getting this one again. Like
when Kyle used to live with me on Daly Street, he has his friend Paul. Yeah, it's.
Do I hear you guys? Yes, I do. But we do have to assume that we get some new listeners every once in a while.
Do I hear you? Yes. Am I going to make any attempt to change? No. Speaking of change, there's a change in the Temple football world.
After that just gorgeous segue there, let's get you guys updated on what happened earlier today. Temple's 13th preseason camp practice. So the team was in helmets.
Swift loves the number 13. That's like her thing. She loves 13, so that would have been a better segue.
I didn't know that. You're the Swiftie.
No,
I
I'm
don't.
saying that to myself. Like that would have been a better segue as if I
Yeah.
had done 13 to 13th.
Oh, okay. I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I mean, I like her, but you are dedicated.
Sure.
You are. You are.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
13th preseason camp practice. Helmets, shoulder pads, not full pads. If you subscribe to owlscoop.com, you can get more details about the depth chart, about some of the other details from Wednesday's practice. I think it would be a little irresponsible for us to say there's an official too deep at this point, but there are certainly some consistencies there with both units, and we're getting an idea of who might end up where. We can tell you that Jameer Jones, the grad transfer safety from University of Nebraska Kearney, was in uniform and practicing today. Casey Keeler a few days ago had said that he'll have a window to practice while they try to get his appeal expedited, so he's eligible to play. So, what's new since we last talked to you? I feel like I just sounded like what's his name from Office Space. What's happening?
Oh, God, I'm blanking on his name.
Gary Cole.
Gary Cole, yeah. I watched
What's
U-571 last night, the like 2000 U-boat movie starring Matthew McConaughey and Bill Paxton. Do you know who the number 3 guy billed on that movie is?
no?
John Bon Jovi.
Really?
It goes Matthew McConaughey, Bill Paxton, who, spoiler alert, dies halfway through. Then
Oof.
John Bon Jovi dies right after it. But I'm like, where do I know this guy from? 2000s John Bon Jovi.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot that movie existed. And
Yeah, it doesn't hold up. I saw it when I was like 11 in the theaters and thought it was a good movie. It's not a good movie.
what made you watch it?
I was just on the couch watching Netflix and I was scrolling through and it came through as a recommended movie and off we went.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah, it was back when they used to make movies that were like an hour and 50 minutes. Now everything's like a 3 hour like Odyssey.
Did they force any John Bon Jovi songs on
No,
the
that
soundtrack?
would have been better if he just started like shredding and like singing "Living on a Prayer" halfway through.
Mm,
That would have been better. But
yeah.
instead, he took shrapnel to the head, and that was the end of him.
How did we get here? Oh, Gary Cole. I said I sounded like him in Office Space. So, yes, here's the long and the short of what has happened with this Temple football program since we last talked to you. You might know by now that starting left tackle Kevin Terry suffered what Casey Keeler is calling a low-grade MCL injury to his right knee. So Casey told us Monday that he might be out 2 to 2.5 weeks. Not ideal for the guy that you want to be your starting left tackle to miss that kind of time, but in the grand scheme of things, they also really dodged a bullet in the sense that it's not season ending. Of course, we have to see how Kevin Terry comes back from it. Casey Keeler had said that the pain that he's experiencing, and Ryan, you were there on Saturday when he went down. It doesn't look great, but he could potentially. Now, we didn't get Casey Keeler today. Roy Roundtree spoke. Again, we told you that JoJo Bermudez and Colin Chase spoke. You'll hear those interviews in a little bit. But let's start with Saturday. Physical scrimmage. Couple of takeaways from that, Ryan. Obviously, the Kevin Terry injury was a big piece of it.
Yeah, the Kevin Terry injury was really really big. Obviously, like you said, Casey Kier said it sounded like worse and looked worse than it actually was. He went down like screaming, like crying. I was scared that was like torn ACL at 1st.
Mhm.
Like that was like the way that it like was kind of just like it was like shaping up to be. I was like, nah. Just like the way like body language, just the way it was going about it. But hearing that it's not as serious is obviously a good thing. But this is my kind of biggest takeaway is obviously was the quarterback room is probably their best practice that they had up to probably today. Yeah, probably their best practice that they had. I didn't get to see Monday. That's probably how it was. Very few mistakes. Giovanni McCoy only had one interception, and it was really just Ben Oswike came in off a blitz, tipped the ball up. Curly Ordonez came in and picked it off. He came in at the end of practice with 2 straight touchdown drives. Threw a touchdown pass to Bryson Goodwin, then threw another touchdown pass to Tyler Stewart. Almost had a third straight, but on fourth down, JoJo Bermudez wasn't able to get the first down. He caught the ball maybe like a yard or two away from the first down marker. But probably my biggest thing has probably been it was probably the best the defensive line has looked.
Yeah.
They were constantly getting pressure at no matter who was at back at quarterback the entire scrimmage. It got a little bit better towards the end of practice, but for the first like up until halftime, they were constantly in the backfield, either getting at Evan Simon, getting at Giovanni McCoy. That's probably one of my biggest takeaways.
And so as for today, oof, neither quarterback looked great. It wasn't a full scrimmage today, as I said. Shoulder pads, helmets, a lot of the same setup. Both quarterbacks got time with the ones. Can't really say that either guy really distinguish himself. Both guys got time with ones. Couple of careless interceptions from Evan Simon, but then he responded late in practice. His best throw of the day came when he was with the twos. He rolled to his left, threw across his body, and he hit Xavier Irvin along the sideline with Zael Powell, in coverage safety. Then later on in that last team period, Giovanni McCoy was with the twos. He ended the day with a pick six. He had a throw to his left that was intended for Ramir Hardy, the true freshman from St. Joe's Prep. But Omar Ibrahim stepped in front of it for an interception, took it back along the right sideline. So that was about it. We have a mailbag question about the quarterback. So we'll talk more about that in the mailbag. But today, yeah, kind of just I don't know. I mean, some guys stood out, made plays. You can see who's on the second team offensive line. You'll hear from Colin Chase. You'll hear from JoJo Bermudez in a second here. Those guys have consistently looked good, but we'll talk about this more in the mailbag. But kind of an iffy day for both players. So I can't remember when we're going to get KC next. If it's Saturday,
no, we won't get him back till next Monday.
Next Monday. So by then they're going to be ready for UMass game prep. I am curious as to when he actually is going to name. He said he was about 7 days out. Last time we talked to KC, he said I'm about 7 days or so away from introducing UMass. So I guess it remains to be seen whether they're going to put out a depth chart and if they're going to do the whole, you and I were talking about this, if they're going to do Evan Simon or Giovanni McCoy and say it's going to be a game time decision, if they're going to engage in a little bit of gamesmanship there. But yeah, today, not a banner day for either guy. Some good throws, some bad throws.
I am also in UMass prep mode, and I did some researching today, and I found
what did you find, Kyle?
Found interviews with their offensive coordinator, and to lend out how crazy coaches are. In 2 of his 3 answers, he said well, I know Temple is going to be reading this interview, so I don't want to give away too much. We're just like we were at Utah. Ha ha, just kidding. And then a question later, he's like, I know Temple's going to be reading this, so we're really slow. We never huddle. Ha ha, just kidding. And I'm done with this guy. I'm over this offense coordinator already. But I also went down the UMass path.
Tyler Walker, very animated during practice. He dropped a few F-bombs today. Not always happy.
Every practice, he has at least one quote. It's usually at the wide receivers, honestly, where he's just screaming at them. And it's something 2 weeks ago, it was, I bet you the won't be doing this. Oh my God. Yeah, I thought we were cutting that. I thought we were cutting that when I said that.
Yeah, Tyler Walker's been a little animated. Let's get to these interviews here. You'll hear from Colin Chase first here, and then JoJo Bermudez. So 2 transfer wideouts who have really been consistently, among the best players on offense. JoJo Bermudez, unless there's some sort of unforeseen development, going to be the guy who starts in the slot, sees a lot of reps in the slot and starts. Colin Chase going to start outside. They've both been great. These are from earlier today at post-practice availability. So you're going to hear part of our interview. Actually, you'll hear the whole thing here with Colin Chase talking to reporters. And earlier today, when we talked to Roy Roundtree, he said, I really enjoyed recruiting him. When we were recruiting him, he interviewed me as much as I interviewed him. And so obviously he goes from a non-scholarship FCS program to the FBS level, getting a scholarship, played at a good program in California, but has really worked his way up, and he passes the eye test. Just looks like he has good body control. He jumps at the right time. You'll hear him talk about that, how he's developed a feel for that, developed a feel for both quarterbacks here. So we'll play this interview with Colin Chase, have a little bit more for you on the other side, and then we'll get into the JoJo Bermudez interview. Colin, your position coach was just saying that when he was recruiting you, you interviewed him and asked, why are you recruiting me? And that stuck out to him. What was that recruiting process like, and why did you approach it that way?
Yeah, so basically I wanted to find the best fit for myself. Some of those questions I asked were, what kind of offense do you run? How do you see me fitting into your offense and stuff like that?
At the time, did you feel like that was unique? Or he kind of looked at it wow, that doesn't usually happen. But for you, was that normal, or did you feel like you were doing things that maybe other recruits weren't doing?
For myself, I kind of hold myself to a higher standard. And sometimes, with that being said, you got to ask those tough questions. So for me, it was just I wanted complete transparency in the process. So I wanted to get all my questions answered.
Who did you choose between when it came down to deciding when you transfer?
Yeah, it was between Temple, UTEP, in Missouri State, and I felt like home really in Philadelphia, and the staff really enjoyed me and embraced me. Not just the position coach, but Coach Walker, the OC, and Coach Keeler, the head coach. It felt like everyone was on board about me.
What's just the general rise in your career been like? Because you clearly look like you know what you're doing up there, and I guess stepping up to like the American doesn't seem like it's going to be overwhelming. I know that the season hasn't started yet, but you've distinguished yourself as one of the best receivers out on the field. What's it been like to go from where you were in high school to now?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to graduate from St. John Bosco High School, which is one of the top high schools in the nation. And then going through the transition process from FCS to FBS, I've had great teammates and coaches around me, like Coach Roundtree really helping me out, guys like Ian Stewart, who's, senior leader coming back, and, he's spending time with me before practice, after practice, going through the playbook. So just a good group of guys around me, helping me elevate my game.
What was it about Philadelphia that felt like home? Because obviously, like you said, you started on the West Coast, you went up north.
Yeah.
You haven't really been in this area.
Yeah, so for me, I'm comfortable kind of going wherever across the country. For me, I do have some family out in Philadelphia. I have some cousins, some second cousins, and some other grandparents out here. So that was definitely a plus for me, that I get family to come see me at my games. But other than that, I went from California to Minnesota, now to Philadelphia. Wherever I feel comfortable, I'm good with going wherever.
Where in Philly are they?
Yeah, about 20 minutes up north. I'm getting more familiar with the area. It's like north and a little bit to the left. And then my grandpa, he was from York, so he grew up and his whole family's out there. Yeah.
So I guess a recent practice, you kind of went up in between two corners and picked the ball out of the air. And I saw on the blog you took one off somebody's helmet yesterday. Is that like a big part of your game? Is just that leaping ability and kind of winning the 50-50 balls?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not the tallest receiver, but I got a long wingspan. I think my wingspan's 6'6", so I can play a little bit bigger than I actually look. So if the quarterback puts up a good ball, I'm there to make the play.
Where does that is part of it feel? Because even if you have the wingspan, you got to time your jump, get a feel for what the corner or the safety is going to do. How much of that is film and how much of it is just natural feel?
Yeah, I would say it's feel. And then another part is, the quarterback's got to put it in a good spot. If he leaves it inside, it's a very tough catch to make. So if he's throwing it at your max jump point and you have that connection, it's pretty unstoppable.
Just coming here, did you want to prove that you could play at this level? Was that the whole idea of transferring?
Yeah, so for me, I actually came from a non-scholarship FCS school, so I did 3 years there. And then with that being said, I just wanted to be playing on a bigger stage on scholarship and be able to have a pro day and have more scouts looking at me.
What was when you entered the portal, did you know what to expect? You had a good career there, but when you hit the portal, did you have a good feeling about it, or were you like, I don't know what to expect and this is going to happen?
Yeah, honestly, it was a very stressful time just because there's so much unknown. I knew I had film, I knew I had accolades, but, once you enter, coaches maybe jump in, jump out, you don't hear back. So it's kind of a shaky process, and it's an expedited process because you got to make a decision fast. So, it was a little stressful for sure.
What do you like about playing with JoJo?
Man, I think we complement each other very well. Me being on the outside and him being so quick and so fast, he's able to work the middle of the field on choice routes or deep routes with his speed. He's very versatile.
How about just the quarterback competition? Obviously, especially the top two guys, it seems like it's been a real battle. How have you seen that?
Honestly, I sometimes can't really tell who's back there. I've had connections with both of them, Evan, Gio. So whoever's back there, I think I'm good with, and more importantly, I think the team's good with.
How have you guys gone about you've had a connection with both Evan and Giovanni throughout this entire camp? How's it kind of been just getting that process, getting that comfortability with each other?
Yeah, I think Coach Walker's done a great job with the rotation. He's basically splitting them, so they're going 50-50 back and forth. So I get a good feel for both of them. Yeah.
What do you like about this offense? I know you can't give the playbook away, but what stood out during the recruiting process? I guess you must have looked at what he did at Montana State, but how would you explain this offense to someone who didn't know it?
Yeah, I would say we are a run-first offense, but I know Coach Walker last year, he was the number one offense in efficiency, in passing efficiency, sorry. So, I really like those one-on-one matchups that he's setting me up with, whether that's to the field, to the boundaries, kind of isolating me and letting me work. So I really like that about the offense.
Among the receivers, how have you guys been gelling together and been able to compete with each other to get better?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, guys like Ian Stewart, he's a senior leader coming back. He's had some injuries, some adversity in the past, but I feel like all the receivers embrace the transfers and everyone's pushing each other, helping everyone elevate their game. So it's been good.
Where do you guys feel like it? I think Casey said the other day it's probably less than a week out before he starts introducing UMass. Are you guys kind of just about ready to start game prep?
Yeah, we are. I know we're working in the heat out there. Still in fall camp, obviously, going from very early to very late. But we're ready. We're excited. We still have to get a lot of things cleaned up, but I know we're very excited.
When I know players, and I get it, they have to take a week at a time, but when you look at the schedule from where you've come from, where you've looked up, and you look at, Oklahoma, Georgia Tech, some of the other teams in the American, is there a human being in you that says, it's going to be pretty cool to test myself against those programs?
Yeah, for sure. I think, playing on a national stage, like you said, I kind of did it at the high school level, and now at the college level, I'm ready to take that next step as well.
What was high school football like? Every area of the country has its own level of pride. Texas, PA, Jersey, Florida. Tell us about California high school football. And you played at a really good program, like you said.
Yeah. So whether it's public schools in California or private schools, it's very competitive in the Southern California area where I'm from. So no matter where you go, you're going to play Division I athletes. So it's pretty unique and it's pretty special. So I think that's really prepared me for the college level. Yeah.
Did you have any scholarship looks out of high school?
I didn't. I had University of San Diego and University of St. Thomas, and ultimately I chose University of St. Thomas, but they were both non-scholarship.
What's your view of the sports culture out here? I mean, I know it's big in LA, but sometimes people say it's so beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Sports isn't always everything because you can just go to the beach. What's it like from what you've been able to gather around here?
No, yeah, it's a good point. I know in California there's so many different teams and there's so much going on that sometimes people get lost in, what their home team is. For myself or other people, they actually grow up fans of NFL teams outside of the States. So it's very cool to be in a place like Philly where everyone's so bought in with the Eagles. So it's been awesome.
Who is your favorite team?
I actually grew up a Bears fan.
Okay.
There was an old school running back named Marion Barber, and I wore 24 growing up because of him. So, yeah.
Kyle, let me ask you this. Did you expect in your crystal ball of crystal balls of recruiting, did you think we'd be talking about Colin Chase this much in mid-August as we get ready for the season?
No, I mean, I think there was always the opportunity for him because I think they definitely targeted that room post-spring to say this is a room we needed to add talent into. But I think most people, if you had to choose between the two, were probably a little more excited about JoJo Bermudez than they were at Colin Chase. And this isn't to say they shouldn't be excited about JoJo Bermudez, but everything you're hearing, everything you're seeing makes it seem that Colin Chase has an opportunity to kind of hit the ground running. So this is one of those things that the armchair experts are kind of rolled their eyes probably when they added a player like this and thought, okay, this is just them taking a flyer, and maybe they just trusted their scouting and were able to project. It's also August 13th, and who knows, maybe this is all just preseason hero stuff, but it doesn't seem that way.
Now you'll hear from JoJo Bermudez. The former Cedar Creek star ended up at Cincinnati at first, fairly highly recruited guy. Now you'll hear him talk in today's post-practice interview about how he had an injury at Cincinnati, missed most of his time there, said it was a knee injury. When I followed up and asked if it was an ACL, he said, no, it was like a bone graft type of thing. Transferred from Cincinnati and then had a hamstring injury at Delaware that caused him to get tripped up there a little bit. So he feels healthy now. Some cool stuff there, and talking about he has a daughter, a 2-year-old daughter now that's a big part of his life. And so we talked about that. Talked about his connection to Andrew Pierce and how he kind of essentially followed him to Temple from Delaware and the connection they have from being South Jersey guys. So again, another guy who has just been consistently playing well. I don't think he dropped the pass today. He had a good day of practice today. So here is today's post-practice interview with JoJo Bermudez, and then we will be on our way into On Around the State and then the mailbag.
JoJo, what's your impression of just how camp has gone so far a few weeks in?
Camp going really good. I'm excited to be here. I transferred in the summertime, and I've been excited ever since I've been here.
You pretty much caught everything today, a couple touchdowns, run after the catch. I mean, it feels like that's been every day for you, right? I mean, you feel like that's been the normal?
Yep, just working on stacking days, staying consistent, keeping my body healthy, but stacking days.
Who do you feel like you've learned along the way? I mean, you had good offers. You were a fairly highly recruited guy coming out of South Jersey, Cincy, Delaware now, so it's not like you're this unknown guy.
Right.
Talk to me about the receiver and player you are now as opposed to when you were coming out of Cedar Creek.
Shoot, I grew a lot. When I went to Delaware, Cincy, I got to see a lot of guys who went to the next level. Like, when I went to Cincy, I was in the room with Trey Tucker, Tyler Scott. Those guys was both in the 3rd round, so I learned a lot from them. Then when I went to Delaware, I had 4 guys who were 6 years in front of me, so I just learned a lot from them. I took everything out of everyone's bag, and I just put it in mine.
Well, why did you end up leaving those 2 places?
I left Cincy because I never told the story, but I left Cincy because I got knee surgery. So the first week I got in there, I'm running with the team. They see me limping. I tell them what happened in high school. We go get x-rays and stuff like that, and we find out what's wrong with me, which caused me to get surgery. That surgery sidelined me the whole season. For me to even get back jogging and running after surgery, I had to wait 11 months. So that took a toll on me mentally. So since you kind of didn't work out how I planned it to go. And then Delaware, I love Delaware. I had a great relationship with Coach AP, the running back coach. He got me into Delaware. He believed in me. So when he left from Delaware and went to Temple, kind of just made sense from there.
Was it an ACL that you had? Was it an ACL surgery that you had at Cincy, or?
Nah, it was a bone graft. No meniscus or ACL, nothing like that.
So that you were injured in high school, or?
Yeah, but I played through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just coming back, was Cincinnati not supportive, or
Nah, everything.
Okay.
Cincinnati, they wanted me to stay. They were super supportive through it all. Super supportive. Shout out to Cincinnati.
What's it like now with the quarterback competition? Is there, when Colin was in here, he said sometimes I can't tell who's back there, and we're just, rooting for those guys. But how have you seen the quarterback competition play?
It's been great. Both guys can throw the ball. It's been real good. Both guys can throw it. That's all. Both guys is good.
Does it seem like both of them, especially Evan, it looks like give you guys the freedom. If something's not there, you'll see Evan directing you guys and coming back. How much of that is feel, and how much do you guys talk about that pre-snap and saying, okay, if this look, my first second progression isn't there, keep an eye out. Come back to me.
I say more so feel. This feel, trying to get open. When you're a receiver, that's the number one thing is to get open. So once you see either or quarterback get out the pocket, you want to have feel, be quarterback friendly.
You were injured last year too, right?
Yep.
Was that also the knee, or?
Nah, that was a hamstring.
Hamstring.
Yep.
And just deciding to leave was just following your coach, or?
Yeah, AP. Myself and Delaware, we had great relationships all across the board with every single coach. I had no issues with leaving Delaware. Like I said, AP, he mean a lot to me. He got me through some of my hardships at Delaware. A lot of them, he supported me. Plus, I knew he was when I was committed to Rutgers in high school. So we had that relationship. AP, that's my guy.
What is it about him? He is a fairly well-respected guy in South Jersey. Did you just knew of him back then as part of that connection?
Yeah.
There?
So when I took my first visit to Rutgers, he kind of just stood out to me. He was kind of like a GA at the time, I believe, and they had him with me on my visit, just taking me around campus and all that. And he was a good guy, a good vibe. So I just kept in touch with him. And when I hit the portal, he contacted me, and it just felt good to do it.
When you hit the portal, was it because he came here? Was it thought all along that you were going to come here and follow him?
When I left Delaware?
Yeah, or when you decided you wanted to go into the portal?
When he left, it was damn, because he got me to Delaware. So I stayed up there for a month. After that month, I was just kind of I kind of want to go with my guy. We haven't talked about it or anything. It was just that we got that relationship to where as though we understand each other. So that's how that happened.
How did you feel about your career there? I mean, you put up decent numbers, like you said. There were a lot of
I,
at Delaware, but I mean, like you said, there were a lot of veteran guys there. I mean, did you feel like you were performing to your capabilities? Or
my first year there, like I said, it was 4 guys in front of me that was 6 years, and they knew the offense. They had a lot of experience in college ball, and that was my first year playing ball because I came back from injury. So that summer camp, that was my first year coming back playing ball. So I had a lot to learn. So when I did end up winning, I ended up starting my freshman year over a couple of older guys. And that was real good. The offense we threw the ball a bunch. We played a lot of receivers, and that was real good. And then going to my second year, third day of camp, summer camp, I pulled my hamstring. I tried to battle through it. First game come, I played. The next day at practice, I pulled it, and then I'm done sideline for 6 weeks. So that's how Delaware kind of went. When I got back, both of our starting quarterbacks was hurt. So we just ran the ball a bunch.
What is? I mean, you've been through 2 tough injuries.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is the hamstring one when it's different kind of pain? It's also unpredictable, and you don't know when it's going to snap on you. Is the mental part of it even harder sometimes with a hamstring injury?
Yeah, definitely the mental part. It's really the mental part. Yeah, definitely. But you just gotta keep pushing through it. You know you're gonna get better one day.
did you kind of wish you hadn't come back? I mean, 'cause you maybe could have taken a medical year. And
Nah, I feel like everything played out how it should have played out.
Who are some of the defensive backs here that impressed you? The guys that are covering you here that have made life tough.
All of them getting me better. All of the DBs, safeties, corners, all of them. Anybody you can name who guarded me, everyone get me better. We out there competing.
as we said, as a guy who was one of the best players in New Jersey, who went to top 3 team in the country coming out of high school, you feel like you still want to prove that you're that guy and you can do that at this level.
Yeah, definitely.
Was Sauce there when you were there at Cincinnati?
Nah, he wasn't there, but I seen him a
Left.
bunch.
Okay.
I've seen a bunch of those guys just coming in and out of the facility.
Do you have numbers in mind? Do you have something that goals?
Nah, no goals, just dominate.
You were kind of already home being at Delaware, but is it nice being home? Some guys are like, I need to get away. I need to see something else. Or is there a certain comfort in being
Yeah, I like
back
being home. I like being home. I got a daughter, so that means a lot to me. It's another reason why I came to Philly.
How old is she?
She's 2.
Okay.
So
How much does she know? Is she starting?
she's
to
starting.
Pick up
She's
on
starting to
football?
get it. She's starting a little bit, but not much though.
How do you take being a parent? Like, how do you translate that maybe leadership onto the field?
Shoot, I'm still working on being vocal. Like I'm a quiet guy, so once I get comfortable with the team more and more, I feel like that'll start to come out. But shoot, yeah, I'm trying to be vocal. I'm trying to work on that.
What is that level of responsibility like? I mean, is she the first thing that's on your mind as soon
yeah,
as practice
for
is done, or
sure.
even like when you're on the field?
For sure. It's been good. Like, it's been real good. I manage it. I got a great support system, so they make it so much easier for me. But it's been real good. Like, it's been awesome, honestly.
You get to see her during camp, or
Yeah. Yep.
Is it? I know it sounds cliche, but like if you have a tough day, like how much does she just pick you up if you're banged up from playing, or you're like, how am I going to handle all this?
She on my mind all the time. Like, I got her face tattooed on my leg, her name on my hand. That she means a lot to me. So, anytime something tough going on, I just think about her.
talk about playing with Colin. What you like about him as a receiver?
Everything. He's one of the best I played with.
What did you know about him? I mean, now rosters are getting overhauled because of the portal. He's a guy who came from non-scholarship FCS level, and I'm sure he's wanted to prove himself. But he didn't have the recruiting profile that you had. What did you know about? Did he pop out to you right away where you're like, oh, this guy looks good?
Because I got an eye for guys who can run routes and stuff. And he kind of smooth. He's smooth. I seen him the first time he stepped out on the field. He good. He real good.
You can continue to read about our practice coverage from this week. Again, if you are subscribed to owlscoop.com, a few additional practice details from today, including some depth chart stuff, who's practicing with the first team offensive line, second team offensive line, first team, second team defensive units. Again, these are not official depth charts. There are guys mixing in at different times in different positions, but some things are starting to become clearer. Jason, on around the state, how are you feeling on or around this date as compared to other? I'm going to try to interview you and ask you some cliche questions that we ask players. Talk to me about this on or around this date as compared to previous on or around the states that you've done.
Yeah, of course. I always got to keep the basics in mind, basics and fundamentals. And that's something that I very much value every time I head into one around this date. Like very much fundamental. Every rep counts in advance. So, prepping is a big thing for me.
Would you say you're stacking days?
I was
Of
just
course,
stole
yeah,
my line.
stacking days one after another, and just stacking scoops one after another. I think that's the big thing. Just
God.
progression every time. How
Stacking
can I
scoops.
improve
Yeah.
every time? So,
That's good. That's good stuff. I love it. What do you have for us?
welcome to On Around This Date. It is a very empty event slate, but I went further in advance. A couple days. I posted like the 1 to 2 day rule, but I'm the only host here, the one and only Jason Nieves. So there's no Johnny's Wiz like here to yell at me. So yeah, we'll jump right into it. I'm gonna say we're gonna start with events to get the boring ones out of the way, or relatively boring ones. So this baseball legend died at the age of 53 in 1948 on August 16th.
Is that Lou Gehrig?
No.
Oh, he was
August
in-
16th, 1948, died at the age of 53.
Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth. I have to ask, naturally, as one would when Babe Ruth comes up. He steps up to the plate in today's modern day, steps up to the plate today's modern day baseball. Do you think you could throw a fastball past him?
Me? No. Any Major League Baseball player? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be
even
any
in
relatively good.
Even in recent decades, like 30 years ago, if you hit like 91, 92, you could throw it. And then now it's like, no, like just like they know the exact launch arm angles, they know the exact way to keep him fresh between things. Like, no, he wouldn't stand a chance.
I am very confident that I could throw a fastball past him.
You couldn't
Like,
throw
just-
a fastball past me.
Is that a challenge?
No
Because
chance. I'm hitting the gap double off you easy. Easy.
I say we clear out some space and
Like I get the Babe Ruth like
a
slander. Like, I
scoop
get
baseball
that.
game.
I get
is-
like thinking Babe Ruth wouldn't be like good nowadays. To think that you could throw a fastball by him is insane.
See, there was a lot of hate in that.
What's the
like
fast?
that-
What's the fastest you've ever thrown a baseball?
I've never played baseball, so
Yeah, you've never even have you ever thrown off a mound?
yes, I've never professionally played baseball.
Yeah, I know
before,
you
but,
haven't
like,
professionally played baseball.
well, I mean, like, or even like organized baseball before, like, or like in like an
I don't think you
activity
throw
where
a
it's like
strike.
I'm on a baseball. I can throw.
I
a
don't think
strike.
you throw a strike on him.
This is
Like
crazy.
you've just never done it. Like you just fresh off the bus. Like, okay, let me pitch to Babe Ruth. No chance. You're walking him.
You get me like if we were to say like, all right, like the scoop baseball game is happening next Wednesday.
I'm going 4 for 5 against you.
I would be ready to like I'd at least get a strikeout on him.
Not on me.
Are you throwing heat? Are you throwing junk? What pitchers are in your repertoire?
Pitchers are it's
Yeah,
it's
you
hard
know
for me
how
to like
throw different pitches.
yeah, it's just different hand placement, it's different hand placement.
I might go 5 for 5.
I don't have a lot of confidence in me as a pitcher, but like if you put me in the outfield, I have a good arm to like get it anywhere. Like you're not.
Yeah, we'll
dealing
move you to
How does
right
that-
against righties, left against lefties. We'll be
How does that
fine.
help you against Kyle, though? You just literally said, I don't have much confidence in myself as a pitcher, but then you stuck yourself in the outfield. How does that help you strike out Kyle?
Or strike out Babe Ruth
Babe
was the
Ruth,
original point.
Because I'm saying like once again, if you give me a week and it's like all right,
No.
like we have Babe Ruth is coming back from the dead, and like we just need like a couple series against him. I got it. Like I can do that. I'm confident in my ability to learn that fast.
Here's what I'm gonna work on between now and football season. We want to have
Humility.
this event a lot. Okay. Well,
well, to be fair, I think that is the one time I've like definitively said like I believe I could do that. Like I'm not on here like spouting Javon takes every episode.
That's
like this
fair.
this is a very rare.
Yeah.
Like,
Surpasses any
That's
Javon.
understandable.
you think it does?
that's crazy.
This is like Javon being like, "You put me against Bob Cousy, like I'd like take him out. Like there's no chance. Like
Bob Cousy, are we for real?
Babe Ruth is like if there's a Mount Rushmore,
yeah.
he's 2 of the faces. Like what are we
Okay.
doing here?
What are the chances
Maybe
that
maybe I'm being
find...
dramatic with the Babe Ruth thing. If Bob Cousy is guarding me 1-on-1, I'm blowing past him.
What are the chances that we could find? I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna keep going here. What are the chances that I could find like some sort of like old Babe Ruth impersonator in like Bayonne or something like that? Be like, all
That
right.
guy goes 3 for 5.
the more and more we talk about this, I lose confidence in myself against
I
Babe
think-
Ruth.
That's what
I
Kyle's good for.
Did you ever, there was a clip of Barry Bonds once where he said like his dad told him like if a guy's throwing heat by you, what you do, the first thing you do, if it's him against Eric Gagne, if the guy's pitching inside on you fast, the first thing you do is you just try to foul off like a monster shot because then the rest of the time they'll never pitch you inside. Babe Ruth is going to do that to you. He's going to foul ball one 510 feet and you're just never going to give him anything that's like not hittable again. It's like mentally he would just kill you.
That's fair. I get that, but I like. Okay,
He also the bat he swung was like 58 ounces. Like he's swinging a boat paddle at you.
Kyle you've changed my mind about this Babe Ruth thing. I was dramatic. I
And I'm not a Babe
apologize.
Ruth guy, but you gotta give him some credit.
I'm not a Babe
I
Ruth
apologize.
guy.
That was
Who are the Babe
that was
Ruth guys?
that was a bit too far.
I'm not a Babe Ruth.
But I still stand on the Bob Cousy thing. I couldn't see him dribble with his left hand. I'm not worried about that.
We got some stuff to unpack there next week. I like it. What a spirited exchange. I love
yeah,
that.
How do you
hard to
transition out of that one, Jay?
well. If I did hit off of Babe Ruth, I would have been on this issue or this magazine, which first debuted its issue on August 16th, 1954, and became Sports Illustrated.
That's good.
That was a good transition.
What was the other one that went away? The Sporting News? That was a big one for a while.
Sport magazine. Yeah. Yeah. That was good. That was a good transition, Jazz. Good work.
Yeah, I'm very well aware of that. Because Kyle was disrespecting me, so I locked in so that I could, so I could keep it going. All right. Final event on August 13th, 1995. This baseball player died at the age of 63.
1995, 63, 1932. You gotta give me something.
He primarily played for the Yankees.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle.
Mantle's at 1993?
1995.
1995.
I don't know why I was thinking like early 2000s.
It was a good baseball year. Nothing to do with Mickey Mantle's death, but
yeah,
it was Baby Braves.
The Braves in the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna head over to birthdays. Starting with this world leader was born August
here we
13th,
go.
1926, and first came into power of his country in 1959 and was held power until 2008.
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro.
Starting off light, Jay. I love it.
Yeah, I wanted to get the hard one out of the way first.
Yeah.
This football player was born August 14th, 1987, and is a college football legend.
87. Yeah, you gotta give us something more.
Tim Tebow?
Tim Tebow.
Whoa.
Okay. No.
John said he doesn't need more. Not to say that you're not as good
I
as
would have
him,
just gone early 2000s. I was gonna go USC, but then you just did Matt Leinart, I think.
No, I did not.
I think you did.
No, I keep a running spreadsheet, Kyle. I know. You see, like once again, it's all about stacking practices, and part of stacking practices is remembering what I did previously to make sure that I'm progressing.
What kind of Matt Leinart? One reason.
No, I didn't. I don't remember Matt Leinart. A couple of sheetsmen on this group. Kyle with the spreadsheets and Jay with the spreadsheets.
Now I'm very interested in when Matt Leinart's birthday is.
May 11th.
No, I don't think it was birthday. I think it was like some like event, but
there isn't much that I could point to and say that's an iconic.
I don't remember any talk of
this is when he dated Lindsay Lohan, or wherever he was dating in the mid 2000s.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jay.
All right, to close it out, this basketball player was born August 14th, 1959, and is a 12-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, and 10-time All-NBA player.
Magic
Johnson.
Good job, John.
Ooh.
Which, according to Basketball Reference, one of his nicknames is also the DJ. Never heard that before. So
no, where is Basketball Reference like Wikipedia, where people just dump stuff in there and it's
determined by them, which they're a Philadelphia / Malvern company, right? But I think they're like very like willy nilly with like, oh, somebody called him this once, I'll call it that.
Yeah. I have submitted a couple for Shea Alexander, purposely Shea Gorgeous Alexander, but it hasn't been accepted. So
I remember
yeah,
the first time that they put Embiid as the process. I like remember that being like, oh, basketball reference is updated as the process.
Basketball Reference is based out of Malvern?
Yeah, I
Huh.
believe so. They're like they're at least like the Tri-County area from here.
Hmm.
in case you're wondering, Joel Embiid's page is also updated to the Phantom of the process and
I
do a
think
180.
I think that was when he had the mask. Yeah, when he had the black mask, he did the Phantom of the Process. I think that was like he referred to himself as that.
Do a 180 is also on here,
I think
and
that's
Troll
also
Out.
him. I think all these are him. I think these are all mostly nicknames he gave himself
Will
back
we
when
see?
Joel was half.
Anyway,
Will we see him
that's
in
on around
person?
the state.
Right. Good stuff, Jay. As we do each week, you're going to hear from our friend Mike Greenspan of Greenspan and Greenspan Injury Lawyers. He's the best injury lawyer you could ever find, but he wants to keep you safe in life on the roads, on the highways. So here is Mike Greenspan's weekly tip, and then we will jump into the mailbag.
Temple fans, as students begin to go back to campus to start a new semester, it's important that if you or a family member have students, you've spoken to them about mental health. Now, we're not talking about providing your Temple student with coping mechanisms as they become a Temple athletics fan in this decade. We're talking about making sure they know about the resources that are available at Temple and any other campus that they might attend to help them get through it. Because here's the secret. It is high achieving students that really use and can benefit from the mental health facilities that colleges and universities provide. You know, there used to be a stigma about seeking help, and that stigma is wrong, and it is up to us as parents and family members to make sure that our students get the help that is available and that they need to help them thrive. So encourage them, have that conversation before they start campus and after the first week or two. Make sure they're aware of it. Go Owls.
Just a couple of questions this week. First one from Twitter, from the handle Off the Hook 3. I put up a post a few days ago that generated some discussion. The gist of it was that Manny Diaz bolting was a pivotal moment in Temple football history, essentially crushed Rule and Collins' momentum and paved the way for eternal G5 damnation. Thoughts on this? It also dampened local support and alumni having lost interest. Back to the same old Temple, lots of losing. Yeah, won't get any argument from me out of that.
I think the action in itself isn't what doomed Temple football. I think even like prior to 2018, when you talk to people like Temple's having success, there was a lot of they're one bad hire away. Like that was
Okay.
always like a statement that said like they're one bad hire away. Like this isn't really like a program yet. You can see
And
that.
then it
So
came.
Manny quitting set themselves up for that one bad hire to happen. Yes. So like I don't think it was because like I think this says I think there was a follow-up tweet where he basically says like momentum was gone and this was kind of they were shoehorned into like they overreacted, they overcorrected, and they wanted like an established coach. That in itself wasn't the problem. Like if they had hired another coach out there, like I mean I don't think this is a mystery that Butch Jones was very interested in the job at the time. Would Butch Jones have been a disaster? I don't know. Like he's been okay at Arkansas State. They won 8 games last year. I think it's just Rod Carey was the worst possible hire and his worst possible hire. So like yeah, in a silo, no. You step one step back and you see what it led to. Yeah, that could have been the reason. I don't think if they had hired Manny, they'd be in the ACC now or anything. Like I think they'd still be in the American. I think they would just hopefully be one of those teams that is like a USF where you're like, oh, maybe that team's ascending instead of descending, or now hopefully treading water.
Yeah, you nailed it. Like people had said, they're one bad hire away. Boy, they got it right with Al Golden. Look, I understand that people didn't love Steve Adazio. He was at Temple for 2 years, but got their first bowl win under him. They played their first and only return season in the Big East with him, and then got it right with Matt Rule, got it right with Jeff Collins. And you said it best, there was an overcorrection. You know, the Manny Diaz thing was embarrassing. And I think there was a lot of pressure there to let's hire somebody who is a proven head coach who will want to stay. And I think Rod Gary would have wanted to stay, but he didn't recruit well. You know, I don't know that any coach really responded well to COVID. The COVID restrictions in place in the city of Philadelphia were tough, but yeah, absolutely has set the program back. I would definitely agree with that. I want to throw this out to you guys too. My friend Mark, who's a longtime Scoop listener, texted this to me. Is the competition between Giovanni McCoy and Evan Simon really as close as Casey Keeler makes it out to be, or is it Evan's job and he's just trying to keep everyone honest? Jay, I want to start with you. I know you didn't get a chance to be there today, but you've been at practice. You've covered this program. I'll bounce it over to Ryan. I'll close out with some thoughts. What do you think? Do you think this has always been Evan Simon's job to lose, or do you think Giovanni McCoy is right in the thick of it?
I think it's somewhere in between, a combination of both, because I do think like even from the beginning, I think like Casey Keeler was very intentional about being like we are going to bring a competition to get different eyes and take different looks at different people, and he was very open about that to the media, so he was probably very open about that to Evan as well, and like there will be some competition, and I do think like if it was completely like one-sided, I think we would have heard something already, because I think at least from the one thing that I've gathered so far about Casey Keeler is that he is very honest and intentional with what he is saying and what he is doing, and just like the even his mindset with the we talked about this previously is just the wanting unrealistic players, or players with unrealistic expectations to continue to push this program to different heights. So I think like definitely, in my opinion, I do think like it is a fair like competition between both of them, where it is like he is genuinely also looking more at Giovanni and Evan and really analyzing both of them, opposed to like, Evan is our favorite, and it's a smokescreen type of thing to make it more competitive to everyone else.
I do think it generally is like really neck and neck, like Keeler's like trying to make it out to be. Just even like one, there's never one person like no one looks so much better than the other
Yeah.
whenever like you're there. It's like either Giovanni looks really good and Evan's like, eh, and then Giovanni is like, yeah, and then Evan looks really good. There's never really consistency there, and also just like the way that they're going about it. I think Jay is right. If there was someone that was standing out, they would say that. Like I think Casey is very like he is very honest about how he is about the team. They're making sure they're getting the same amount of reps almost every single practice, even including dead snaps. They're making sure that Giovanni is going out there running with the ones, but also making sure that Evan is going out there running with the twos and stuff like that. So I can see this being as close as he's making it to be.
I agree. I mean, you said it best. I mean, there were the two picks that Evan threw today. One was just like off his back foot, and he almost looked like he was just offering it up, and it wasn't a great throw. Obviously, Giovanni throws a pick six to end the day. I think that Evan might have the edge on him in arm strength. Their deliveries are a tad different. Evan's a more traditional thrower. Giovanni looks like he has like this three-quarter motion.
Mm-hmm.
But both guys have responded well from picks. Now, again, Giovanni didn't end practice well today. There are some things sometimes when I think both guys are fairly mobile. Giovanni's more mobile, bit of a better cutter in space. But yeah, I think it's still kind of hard to call at this point, but they're going to have to call it at some point, because I don't know how much they want to divide up reps. You can't, I guess they could. I don't know if it'll be their smartest use of their time. They can't really use reps like that once you're prepping for the August 30th season opener. So 17 days out from the August 30th season opener at UMass. So I do think it is a legit competition, as coach speakish as that sounds. One more question to close us out. Twitter handle is I Hate Your School. Longtime Scoop listener. Early prediction for single digits. This is kind of interesting because Casey Keeler talked a lot about that on Monday, and he gave us the impression that I literally outlined the whole process where players can nominate somebody, and then they're really going to vet that person up through like the academic people, the training staff. And he's talked a few times now about how some of the players, the guys that returned, had said that they felt like it was a little bit of a popularity contest last year. So, and he did very much say, like, we may not use them. That he didn't say these exact words, but they may not use up 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It could be a situation where they enter the season with just a few. So let us speculate here to answer this question. What are some early predictions on single digits?
I think it's a good point to once again mention that it's the intention behind it to make sure that it's not a popularity contest is a big factor in this. And I do think like if it's based off of like true leadership and it's like, all right, like it doesn't matter what the situation is, I do think like as corny as he is, Evan Simon, I think for me is like a clear single digit like material for what they would expect to be a leader. Like even going through a quarterback competition, and he's still like, the way he's handled it and the way he's handling the team and just the energy, I think that is something that like I think they look at him like that's our blueprint. Like even if he isn't our starting quarterback out there, against UMass, it is a situation where he is a leader on this team and he is an impact player and he can lead not directly on the field as a starting quarterback, but like as the team. So I think like he's like one that like immediately stands out as like as corny as I find him. I do think it is like a single digit material.
Yeah, I think he even said, and Casey even said in our, I mean, he didn't name him a single digit, but in our spring one-on-one interview with him, when I talked to him, he said, I mean, he used the phrase something like, I mean, that's a single digit right there. So Evan would not surprise me. What are you thinking on this, Ryan?
I agree with Jason about Evan as well. Also, he was one last year. He's the only one coming back. Ian Stewart, I do, even though he's been injured, he hasn't been playing a ton. He had the gray jersey off on Saturday, had it back on today. I don't know what it was like on Monday, but I do think that he is someone that has a chance of getting that back again. One, just because when we were talking to Colin Chase today, he brought him up a lot, just being like,
Yeah.
he is someone that has helped me get used to this offense, get used to just adjusting. He had the gray jersey off on Saturday, and they just kind of talked about how important that was to kind of have him back and play in the scrimmage and everything like that. Even if he's not going to be starting, that's not the case. Just having him and his leadership, they have talked about how important that is. Casey Keeler's talked about how important it is to have him. He's the leader. He's the veteran in that wide receiver room. Then kind of flipping it to the defensive side, kind of hear him talk all the time, but he's someone that's also become a leader, and that's Javier Morton on in that secondary. He's someone, if you're at practices, he's probably the loudest person talking, makes play, talks trash, but he's also one of the players that is also uplifting that almost every single person on the team. I forget who it was, but someone dropped a pick on Saturday, and Javier was the first person that came up and was like, you did this, worked with him on it. And they come to him. He's the leader of that defense alongside probably like Ty Davis. So he's someone that I could see also kind of stepping into that single digit.
It will be really interesting because I do, like I just said a few moments ago, I think they are going to be pretty stingy with it, which, they should be. A couple names that jump out to me. I know we talked about him earlier. Colin Chase just seems to be walking the walk, talking the talk, playing really well. Obviously, it certainly helps if you're a really damn good football player. And he's looked like the best wide receiver out in the field, seems to be doing everything the right way off the field. I'm thinking of Cam Stewart, too, at defensive end, a veteran guy, a guy that was a pretty good player coming out of high school, Rutgers transfer. Seems to be a guy, and again, we are not with these guys day in and day out. I like Casey's anecdote where he says, hey, this guy's going to be a single digit. And someone says, well, this guy hasn't been to study hall every day, or he didn't show up for training on this. Cam Stewart seems to be a guy just like an older, wiser guy. Even when we were practice today, he literally made sure that everybody threw out their trash before they got back out on the field after break. Let's make sure the trash cans are filled up. Good player. We're going to be one of their better pass rushers as well. So I would think Colin Chase and Cam Stewart, but there are going to be a couple guys maybe that not necessarily surprise us, but Casey did say that they could add people later in the season. So Casey didn't give a definitive date as to when he's going to name single digits necessarily, but we'll see how this plays out. So appreciate the mailbag questions. And next week, maybe the ghost of Bob Cousy will join us on the Scoop, which would be, that'd be a hell of a guest, right? So Scoop might really take off at that point, and at which time we will find out who wins a game of one-on-one basketball between Jason Yevis and Bob Cousy. Enjoyed the Babe Ruth conversation today, and thank you guys for listening to another episode of Scoop. We'll talk to you soon.